Welcome back from that break. Now, following the debate in the Senate on the crisis in Kaduna State, my colleague Linda Akigbe had a chat with the Senate Majority Leader, Senator Ahmed Lawan, on the security challenges facing the country and other issues.
Well, let me say that we have been discussing the security situation in Nigeria since I joined the Senate in 2007 as the sixth Senate. Nigeria has been bedeviled by one insecurity or the other. Now, in this Senate, almost on a daily basis, one insecurity issue will be brought before the plenary or the other, calling the attention of the federal government or the Senate to note. And I believe that the culmination of all those discussions came in the form of the National Summit on Security, remodeling of our security infrastructure that the Senate organized, which I was privileged to chair the ad hoc committee. So my intervention last week was to say that we have had enough discussions. There will always be security issues to discuss. What we need is for us to engage with the executive arm of government to see how we can interface and ensure that all our concerns, which are also the concerns of the executive arm of government, are properly addressed in terms of the security infrastructure first. How are we going to do this? You are the ones to execute it. We, on the other hand, are supposed to approve funding for the execution of whatever plans or actions you want or you need to do. So this is the essence, that we must complement each other. We've talked, as far as I can see, we have talked so much. We need to engage to ensure implementation and execution of what we have talked. That is to say, we should walk the talk, and we cannot do it as a legislature or as a parliament. We need to sit down and work together with the executive arm of government on this.
There is this perception in the public that the National Assembly is not being proactive enough in ensuring that all the recommendations passed so far in addressing the security challenges in the country are being enforced or implemented by the executive.
There is a difference between resolutions and laws passed by the National Assembly. Resolutions are suggestions. Resolutions are the understandings and desires of the members of the parliament to see the executive arm implement certain actions for the benefit of the society or the country. Now, because you practice a different system here in Nigeria, where you have separation of powers, the presidential system, the legislature is detached from the executive. In a parliamentary system, the legislature and the executive are in one place. Ministers are members of parliament. So it's like talking to oneself. They can easily go out and start implementing. Here, our system does not allow that, or does not encourage that every resolution that is passed by the parliament must be implemented. It is good when resolutions are implemented. But my take is we must emphasize this tendency to think the legislature and the executive arms are independent of each other. That was one of the reasons why I even tried to suggest that the two arms, the leadership of the National Assembly and the executive, should sit down and work out going forward addressing the security issues. So when it is resolution, the executive is expected to sit down, look at the resolutions, and try to implement them. In a situation where the executive does not, it doesn't mean that they are breaking any law. I want you to understand this. The executive is not breaking any law, but the executive should be encouraged to implement resolutions of the National Assembly. One thing we must emphasize is partnership, cooperation, consultation, and coordination between the two arms of government.
Another perception in the public is that the National Assembly has failed to oversight the executive. Particularly, we saw an instance a few months ago where some soldiers came out to protest that their allowances have not been paid. And then we wonder, the National Assembly is supposed to be oversighting security agencies. How is this allowed to happen without the knowledge of a National Assembly?
The National Assembly cares for, stands for the welfare of our armed forces, regardless of whether they are at the war front or at home. Because the essence of any government is security and welfare. Security first. So you cannot joke with the security of your country and your citizens. That's your number one task as a government. And we are doing that. So I will disagree with you completely, Linda, that the National Assembly has failed. The National Assembly has not failed. That perception is a misperception. So we are still doing our work so hard and so well. And our committees can only do better. I agree. We can do better. We can do more in terms of oversight. But to say that we have failed, no. Even during the heat of Boko Haram fight, we had our committees in the 7th Senate going to the war front to meet our soldiers, even at the heat of Boko Haram insurgency. So I don't think maybe fail is the wrong word or misinformation, but I want to say that we will continue to be alive to our responsibilities as members of the National Assembly, and we'll continue to cherish the contributions of our armed forces. In fact, I serve as chairman Senate Committee on Defense at one point in this tenure, and I know that we have taken time to visit many military institutions. We know how much we have been approving for the military, because we want to see efficiency, we want to see effectiveness, we want to see professionalism, we want application of technology to ease the sufferings of for those we send to the war fronts, particularly with chances of even paying the maximum price of losing their lives. Even though it may appear that sometimes there could be encumbrances, but let me tell you, our committees scrutinize the expenditures, in fact, right from the budgets of the armed forces. We continue to track the expenditures, and you recall that before the National Assembly approves the request of Mr. President for the purchase of the Tucanos, it took some time, because members of the National Assembly insisted on getting the request disaggregated so that we know exactly what money is going for what purchase. So members of the National Assembly are very conscious of this. And also, you recall that when President Muhammad Buhari requested for funds for INEC, for the 2019 general elections, and security agencies. For INEC, we approved first, immediately. We returned from our recess. But for the security agencies, our committees on appropriations and finance requested the security agencies to appear before those committees to defend the budget. That is to ask them specific and detailed questions and presentations on how they were to utilize the funds. So the National Assembly is on top of its game, but I agree with you, we can do better, we can do more, but I don't think we have failed in this aspect, not at all.
Well, those are some of the legislative activities lawmakers were able to attend to this week. What are your views on these issues? Well, remember, you can send in your questions and comments to our email and other online platforms. Thanks for staying with us. I am Lanre Lasisi.